Okay, what is going on, you guys? This is like take 7 or 8. I've been trying this for so long. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the new Battlefield game coming out in 2.5-3 weeks called Battlefield 5. If you haven't heard about it, you must be living under a rock because this game sparked a lot of controversy. Some people love it, some people hate it. I'm somewhere in the middle. I think the game had a lot of potential. DICE kind of squandered a lot of it though at the very beginning, but yeah, you never know. Maybe they can make something great out of it. Maybe they, you never know. First things first, though. This is not live commentary. Maybe this was clear to you guys as soon as the video started. This commentary it's not live. This gameplay footage is pre-recorded. Yes, it's Battlefield 1. I didn't record any Battlefield 5 beta footage because I just wanted to try and enjoy it. But yeah, so if I comment on anything that goes on in the gameplay, it's because I'm watching it right now while I talk, while I do my commentary, which is going to be about what Battlefield 5 could have been, what I think they could have done to make everybody happy, not just the media, I guess. They could have made the Battlefield veterans happy, they could have made the media happy. It could have been a whole great thing. Everybody could have been happy. It would have been great. Before I talk about the things that I want to change, the things that I thought aren't so great, the things that I think suck, I want to talk about the things that I do like first. So let's hop straight into it first with the fun gameplay. I had this down on my notes. I have 6 pros and 6 cons, but fun gameplay is number 1 on the pros list. It felt like Battlefield. It did. Maybe not World War II Battlefield, but it did feel like Battlefield. Maybe that's changed over time. They've been making changes from the beta. Maybe it'll be different. I don't know. But the gameplay was pretty fun. I thought. It was core, so whatever. But how fun can core get? It all depends on whatever. Next thing was good graphics. The game is beautiful. I don't think there's any denying that. I don't think there's any debate about that. Battlefield 5 is a truly beautiful game. It's just it just looks amazing. Like I have a screenshot. It's I was kind of it was kind of to poke fun at the game because the ragdoll physics weren't very good in the beta, but it does look beautiful. The screenshot looks amazing. I'll try and put that in somewhere in the video. Maybe I'll just put it in right here. But yep, the graphics are beautiful, except for the one problem I have, the one gripe that I have, is with the lighting. Sometimes when you exit buildings, your character's eyes has to adjust to the light. Make it add realism. But I think they went a little bit overboard on that. Maybe they've changed that. Maybe it wasn't really on their main concerns list. But one game that did that really well was not Battlefield 5, Metal Gear Solid 5. I don't really like that game. I mean, it's not that great. The gameplay's good, but that's beside the point. The lighting in that game was beautiful. I wish the Battlefield 5 had that kind of lighting. The next thing was the new weapon upgrade system. Now, I heard a lot of people had problems with this. They were saying, why couldn't it be... I just cracked my finger, sorry. They were complaining about why it couldn't be more like Battlefield 4. And I was complaining about that too. I thought that was ridiculous that they were going to change it. Partly because in the beta it was, the upgrades, it wasn't like you couldn't pick and choose your upgrades and go back and, change things. It was really just you pick one of the branches of upgrades and that was it. And you couldn't go back, you couldn't, swap branches, you couldn't do anything. It was set in stone, really. And I didn't like that very much, but I've heard they changed it. I've heard they've made some changes to it, which that could be good. But going back to the whole just adding attachments to your gun. Attachments won't do anything in Battlefield 5, from what I've heard. It's kind of too early to say, I think, but at least for that aspect of the game. But I really didn't like that at first because I thought it was stupid, and I thought that should be your means of upgrading a weapon. But then I realized that well, I was reading some I think it was like Reddit or something. I was reading some what people thought about it, and somebody, I don't remember who it was, but somebody brought up a really good point that if you put like a reflex sight on a rifle, does it really make it more accurate? If you put a foregrip on a rifle, does it make it more stable? Does it really Does that change anything? And the answer is no. I mean, sure, there are some things that'll upgrade a rifle, but like a foregrip or a reflex sight isn't going to do it. It's all just about personal preference. If you want to have a second pistol grip, to hold the handguard of your rifle, it's just all just personal preference. It doesn't really make it more stable. And same with a reflex sight. It's just another way of aiming. Being able to aim down the gun. It's all just a matter of personal preference. And speaking of the weapons, the customization, not like the attachments not doing anything, but the customization, like the paints and being able to put vegetation on the rifles, that looks cool. I'm pretty excited about that. I think that'd be a cool thing to have, and they do have it, so whatever. But I think that's cool. It's got a lot of potential. It's just kind of make the gun however you want it to be. There's no meta for the best attachments or anything. What's the next thing? Limit on viability of vehicles. This is a big one for me. In Battlefield 4, and really just Battlefield 4, at least on the PS4, this is a big problem for me. Tanks were too plentiful. Tanks were, they were downright overpowered. They're really good, and they're very enticing for some reason. I don't know how fun it could be just sitting in a tank the whole game and hitting people from afar, but I guess that appeals to some people. But now in Battlefield 5, tanks will have limited ammo, which is a big game changer, because now people can't just sit and just gun people down, just shoot people from afar. It'll mix up the play styles of people who do that, and I think it's great, because in Battlefield 4 there was in other Battlefield games, even in Bad Company 2, there was only two ways to take out a tank, and that was C4 or rocket launcher. The tank issue wasn't as big of a problem in Battlefield Bad Company 2 because of the hardware limitations. There just couldn't be that many vehicles on a map at a time. But in Battlefield 4, at least on the PS4, it was a big problem because it was new hardware. The quote-unquote roofs were raised. That's make fun of me for that. I don't care. The standards were higher for the amount of things that could be on a map on the PS4, and it was a problem. I didn't like it. I thought it was terrible. If you were a support or assault class, there was nothing you could do. You could only really take out tanks if you were a sneaky scout and could plant C4, or if you just shot it with a rocket launcher. So yeah, I'm really happy about that, about the limited ammo. Some of the maps in Battlefield 5, I saw the map trailer that just came out recently. Some of these maps look really cool. There's one in like a tropical, I think it was like Africa, where it took place, like South Africa or something like that. I don't know, but it looks cool, and I'm kind of digging it. Except for the one map that I really hate, Rotterdam. That map sucks. It's utter shit. I hate it. It literally only appeals to assault and support. That's all it appeals to. There's no sniping spots. There's and as somebody who mains recon, I really only play sniper. That's like my thing for Battlefield. It's one of the best sniping games I've ever played, or one of the best games where you can snipe. You catch my drift. But Rotterdam is not a good map. I hate it. It's terrible. There's a map similar to it on Battlefield 1, and I think it's the worst. But yeah, so those are the things that I liked about Battlefield 5. Now, for the things that I didn't like, that weren't very good. In my notes, I wrote them as things that make me want to shoot myself, which, to an extent, I do feel that way. The first one was "Core sucks balls like usual." That was exactly what I wrote. Yep, I'm gonna ran over by a horse here in the footage. Yeah, that made me really mad when I was playing. But yeah, core sucks. It's a staple of Battlefield where core is just the worst thing that was ever introduced. I don't know why it's even in the game. I guess some people like it to, like having a more casual play style. I don't know. I don't see the appeal. It takes 2 body shots to kill a guy with a sniper, which just isn't realistic, and I'm a sucker for realistic game design. But that's just me. So core sucks. Takes like 7 shots from an assault rifle. Excuse me, I almost just went into a coughing fit. I'm kind of sick, if you can't tell. It takes like 7 shots from an assault rifle to kill a guy, which is it's just mind-boggling. The revive system sucks. I hate it. So for those of you who don't know, in Battlefield 5, if you get downed, you can either hold, I think it was the R trigger, to hold out your hand for like 15 seconds and, cling to life, waiting for a medic to, come save you. Excuse me. Or you can hold on to the left trigger, alternatively, and wait 10 seconds, exactly 10 seconds, I would know because I counted, and because you could just quickly, well, quote-unquote quickly, go back to the, respawn map and, whatever. The problem with this, on paper, it seems pretty good, oh man, like, they'll see your hand on the ground, and it'll be like, oh, it'll create a sense of, brotherhood in arms, brothers in arms type of thing, camaraderie, and sure, in the perfect world, yeah, that would happen, but nobody cares is the thing. Nobody cares. Nobody's going to revive you. In the beta, I played every day that the beta was out, for an hour or two every day. And you know how many times I got revived? I would say probably 2 or 3 times. Out of a total of, 5-ish days, I think it was around a week long, I got revived maybe 2 or 3 times. Which is upsetting. But, they could have changed this by just having, instead of holding down a trigger to, make it go faster and just die quicker, they could have just had you press a button to do that. They could have just done that, and it would have been great. And then you could, look at the map and plan out where you want to spawn, and customize your soldier or whatever. It would have worked wonders. But of course, why would they think of doing that? I don't know if they're changing that. I hope they do, because it's terrible. I don't like it at all. But yeah. For the third thing that I really didn't like, I put down Rotterdam again in all caps. I guess I don't know. I really don't like Rotterdam. I don't know if I made that clear. I hate it. Anyway. Crawling on your back is unnecessary. I wrote that. Those are my exact words. So, I don't know if, like, crawling on your back it's a new mechanic where you can, like, crawl backwards on your back. I don't know. I don't see the appeal. I mean, maybe it's, like, I just don't know. Unless it's, like, faster, unless it's, like, quicker than, just crawling backwards while prone, like, on your hands and knees crawling backwards, backing yourself up. Unless it's quicker than that, maybe, but I just don't see the point. I think it was just a waste of their budget to add that into the game, unless it actually does something useful and innovative. The second to last thing I had for cons was propaganda and right side of history. Now, for those of you who don't know, DICE it's located in Sweden, I believe. Let me look it up right now. DICE location Sweden. Stockholm, Sweden. Yeah, so they are situated in Stockholm, Sweden. And for those of you who don't know, on the U.S. political compass, Sweden would be considered very, their politics, the majority of the population, if not all of their population, is considered, very far, left-wing on the U.S. population, or U.S. political compass, sorry. And what I mean by propaganda is they're not saying, like, down with the Republicans, but Patrick Soderlund, who was, the quote-unquote face of DICE, he had said in response to, the female soldiers, which I'll talk about in a second, that's the really big one that I was going to talk about. In response to that, he said, we plan on being on the right side of history. We're gonna find ourselves on the right. I find myself on the right side of history with this decision, and it's just not the case. It's not the right side of history. It's the wrong side of history, because whether you like it or not, World War II was fought by and won by mostly white males, and sure the Nazis were white males, but I mean, so were the most of the Americans. They were all, white males, and the Allies, they were mostly white males, is what I'm trying to say. Now, don't get me wrong. There were, in the USSR, there were, tank battalions or whatever they're called that consisted of female soldiers, and there were female sniper, groups in the USSR, because they were taking anybody they can get to fight in the war. And I think the UK, I think Britain had very few female soldiers working as a medic, a nurse, something like that. I don't think the US had any of that. I think we were pretty set to go when it came to World War II. We had our our military prepared. Excuse me, but see, the way the character models, it just doesn't make sense. The Access sniper is a Japanese woman, which is I don't get it. Okay. Here's what I think they should have done. If you haven't closed the video, I thank you. But here's what I think they should have done. Also, the gameplay stopped around a minute ago. Sorry about that. I'll try and think of something to fill that space now. I think that for the Ally player models, I think all the Axis player models should have been just the typical white male Nazis. I think that's what they should have stuck with. I just think I think that's yeah. But for for Allies, instead of having a female British sniper for recon, why didn't they just do a French resistance fighter? Say, a female French resistance. That would have been awesome. That would have been cool. I would have loved to play as a French resistance sniper. Truthfully, I'm saying that with the utmost sincerity. My voice cracked to show you how sincere I am, right? That would have been cool, and it would have been historically accurate, and it would have made everybody happy. And the engineer, the Allies engineer, could have been a USSR female soldier, because they had the tank battalion, whatever things. Because engineers are in Battlefield are mostly associated with vehicles, whatever, with vehicles. So it would make sense for a USSR female soldier engineer working with tanks, right? The support class could have been a black guy from the United States, a black soldier from the United States. It would have been in uniform, and they're all in their respective uniforms. It would have been cool. It would have been great. It would have been awesome. It would have been historically accurate, because I'm pretty sure all all wars, there have been black soldiers that participated. At least for the United States. I mean, not obviously not all wars in the history of the world, but all United States wars that we've participated in. I was going to say partook, which I don't know if that's a word. But there have always been black soldiers. I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure they have it. And then for the Allies assault, it could have been just the typical white male soldier, because like I said, whether you like it or not, most of the guys, most of the people who won World War II were white men. It's just a common fact. I was like, you got to get over it if you haven't accepted that yet. And that could have been the player models for the Allies for the team. It would have been great. It would have been awesome. It would have made everybody happy. It would have been historically accurate. It would have been, I'm speeding up and I'm rambling more because I'm so passionate about this. I'm so very just sure that this would have saved the pre-order sales of Battlefield 5. This would have made everybody. It would have been good. It would have been great. There would have been no controversy, or very little at all. And it's just, I don't know. It's disappointing. Like I said, the Axis powers it could have been just all a bunch of white men Nazis, because that's what the Nazis were. They were very pro-white, I guess, and anti-black, and obviously, I don't agree with that. As I'm the quote-unquote evil Republican conservative, of America, but I don't agree with that. I don't think that black people should be lynched. That's terrible, but I don't know. Maybe I'm getting beside the point a little bit. But either way, that's my take on the whole Battlefield 5 situation. I just wish they could have done this. I wish they could have just, instead of just not thinking about it and doing something brash and dumb, and I don't know. Anyway, sorry for rambling a lot. I rambled a lot in this video, especially at this little end segment. But if you like the video, be sure to leave a like. That would help out. I don't want to go fishing for likes or begging people, because whatever. But if you think differently, if you think the game is fine as it is, if you agree with me, if you think you have your own ideas, please put them in the comments. I want to hear about it. It's an interesting topic, hearing different people's perspectives. It's something that I don't know. I think it's cool, and yeah. I'll try and find something to fill the space for this last part. I don't have anything yet because this is, I already explained it at the beginning of the video. But yeah, that's it for me. If you enjoyed this video, yeah, just never mind. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace out.